All right, so these are my Week 11 NBA Power Rankings. These are going to come out on Thursday, but my stats and everything for the standings are based on where they were on the morning of Tuesday, December 31st. I had some New Year's plans that kind of got in the way with it, and I did not be able to record until today. But let's get started. Starting off with our injuries, you guys can mainly look at this yourself. I did want to mention Luka Doncic is going to be injured for 1 month. But yeah, other than that, you can look at this yourself. Then we have our top performances. Again, you guys can look at this yourself. I just wanted to mention Jalen Brunson had a 55-point game. That was really cool. And Nikola Jokic had a 30-20-10 game. That was also really cool. So we got the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 5-28, have lost 3 straight this week, and have lost 10 straight games the last like 3 weeks. They're obviously not a very good team right now. Then we got 29, the Utah Jazz, 7-24 overall, 0-4 this week. Not a very good team. They lost to the freak. I apologize for that. I'm just going to try to keep going. But the Jazz, they lost to the Cavs, Blazers, Sixers, and Nuggets this week. Number 28, Toronto Raptors are 7-25, 0-3 on the week. They lost 10 straight games as well. Some Pelicans are playing for the longest losing streak of the season right now. Again, they might have won game the last 2 days, but I do not have those current stats on me right now. So I apologize for that. But the Raptors lost to the Knicks, Grizzlies, and Hawks this week. 27, Charlotte Hornets, 0-4 this week. They've lost 8 straight games. 7-25 here for the Charlotte Hornets. Lost to the Rockets, Wizards, Thunder, and the Chicago Bulls in overtime. Number 20, Washington Wizards, 5-25, 1-3 on the week. But they did win a game this week, even though they have a very bad record. They move up a few spots here. They beat the Charlotte Hornets and they lost to the Thunder, Knicks, and the Knicks again, actually. Number 5, Brooklyn Nets, sitting at 12-20 overall. Not horrible, but obviously not very good. 1-3 on the week. They lost to the Heat, the Spurs, and the Magic. They did beat the Bucks, and they also traded Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith for D'Angelo Russell and Maxwell Lewis this week. So getting D'Lo back in Brooklyn is a pretty interesting move, but I don't think it really makes them much better. 24, Portland Trailblazers sitting at 11-21 overall, 2-2 on the week for them. So a decent week. They beat the Jazz and the Mavericks, and they also lost the Mavericks this week and lost to the Sixers. Number 23, Sacramento Kings, 14-19 overall, 1-2 on the week. They also fired coach Mike Brown. They lost to the Pistons and the Lakers, and they beat the Dallas Mavericks. Number 22, Detroit Pistons, sitting at 14-18. They're pretty close there in the Eastern Conference for that play-in spot there. So obviously a big improvement from where they were a year ago. 2 week, solid there. They beat the Lakers and Kings and they lost to the Nuggets. Number 21, Chicago Bulls sitting at 15-18. They're 2-2 on the week. They lost to the Bucks and Hawks, but then also beat the Bucks, and the Charlotte Hornets. Number 20, Indiana Pacers sitting at 16. So they're going to be right on where they did mostly all season right now. 2-2 on the week for them. They beat the Warriors and the Celtics, but they also lost to the Celtics and the Thunder. Number 19, Golden State Warriors. We got 16-16 now after a 1-4 week. They're going to drop 4 spots. So obviously not a very good week here for the Golden State Warriors. They beat the Suns, but lost to the Pacers, Lakers, Clippers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 18, San Antonio Spurs. They went 1-3 this week. Also going to drop 4 spots as they now sit at 16-16. They beat the Brooklyn Nets, but they lost to the Sixers, Knicks, and Timberwolves. Number 17 here is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. So they still are only 13-17, significantly worse record than some of these teams below them. But they had a 4-0 week this week, so they're definitely trending in the right direction. They're going to jump up 5 spots here after defeating the San Antonio Spurs, who I just mentioned. They also beat the Celtics, the Jazz, and the Portland Trailblazers. Number 16, the Phoenix Suns, sitting at 15-16, 1-3 on the week. They will be dropping 4 spots here as well. They lost to the Nuggets, but they also beat the Nuggets. Then they lost to the Mavericks and to the Warriors. Number 15, Miami Heat sitting at 16 and 14 after a 2-1 week for them. They're gonna jump up about 3 spots here. They beat the Nets and Rockets, and they lost to the Atlanta Hawks by 10 points. Number 14, Orlando Magic sitting at 20 and 14. They had a 2-2 week. They will be dropping only 1 spot here. So a decent week for Orlando. They lost to the Heat and the Knicks, but they also beat the Nets and they beat the Boston Celtics. Number 13, Dallas Mavericks. They're going to drop 3 spots. They had a 20 and 13 overall, 2-3 week for them. They beat the Blazers and the Suns, but they also lost to the Timberwolves, the Kings, and the Blazers when they played them again. And of course, they're losing Luka Doncic now to injury for at least 1 month. So that plays a big part into them dropping this far. Number 12, the Atlanta Hawks, sitting at 18 and 15 now. They had a 4-0 week, and they're going to actually jump up 5 spots here. Really big leap here for Atlanta. They beat the Timberwolves, they beat the Bulls, they beat the Raptors, and they beat the Heat. And they also got Onyeka Okongwu back from injury. Number 11, Milwaukee Bucks. They're 16 and 14 now, 1-2 on the week. They're going to find themselves dropping 3 spots here. Still a lot better than where they started at the beginning of the season, but certainly a subpar week this week. They lost to the Bulls and the Nets, and they also beat the Chicago Bulls. Number 10, Denver Nuggets are 18 and 13, 3-2 on the week. They will be dropping 1 spot here, though. Not a bad week for them, but when you go barely above 500, when you're already in the top 10, you just kind of end up sliding down because a lot of the other teams around them ended up, playing better than them. But they beat the Suns and the Utah Jazz and the Detroit Pistons, and they lost to the Suns as well and to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 9, Los Angeles Clippers. Sorry, they had a 3-0 week, but they're actually going to jump up 7 spots here. Very, very big leap for the Los Angeles Clippers, but I do think it is well deserved. They beat the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and the Pelicans, and they got Kobe Brown back from injury, which isn't too much to speak about there, but they played really good this week against some pretty solid teams. Number 8, Houston Rockets, 21 and 11, 2-2 on the week. They're going to drop 2 spots here. Again, not a bad week necessarily for the Rockets. 21 and 11 is still one of the better records in the league. They beat the Hornets and Pelicans and lost to the Timberwolves and to the Heat. Number 7, Boston Celtics. They're actually going to drop all the way down to number 7. They were number 6 last week, so not too much of a drop for them, but still 23 and 9 right now after a 1-3 week. The last couple of weeks have been not ideal here for the Celtics. They beat the Pacers, but they also lost to the Pacers this week, and they lost to the Sixers and to the Magic. Number 6 is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 22 and 11. They went 2-2 this week, and they're going to be dropping 2 spots here. They lost to the Clippers and the Thunder, but they also beat the Raptors and the Pelicans. Number 5 is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to jump up 6 spots after a 3-1 week, 17 and 14 record here overall, which isn't great. But this week they played really good, and they beat some good teams. They beat the Mavs, they beat the Rockets, they beat the Spurs, and they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. Number 4 is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. They're going to jump up 6 spots as well, even though they only had a 2-1 week. They had a pretty impressive week, in my opinion. They lost to the Pistons by 3, but then they beat the Warriors, they beat the Kings, and they traded away D'Angelo Russell for Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith, which, in my opinion, does make this team a little bit better. D'Angelo Russell might be a better player than both those guys right now, but I think those guys are also pretty good, and it gives the Lakers some much-needed depth here for this team. Number 3, New York Knicks. So they're 23 and 10 overall right now, won 5-0 this week, and have won 8 straight games for them. They're doing really, really good right now. They beat the Raptors, the Spurs, the Magic, the Wizards, and the Wizards again. Number 2, Oklahoma City Thunder, the 26 and 5, 4-0 on the week, and I've won 11 straight games. Again, that is not counting the NBA Cup championship where they did lose, because technically that does not count against the regular season. But the Thunder, they beat the Wizards, the Pacers, the Hornets, and the Grizzlies this week. And number 1, of course, will be the Cleveland Cavaliers, sitting at 28 and 4, 3-0 on the week, and have won 7 straight games. They beat the Jazz, the Warriors, and the Denver Nuggets. Now we will also be getting our award races here. So for the first time this season, I believe, So you guys can mainly, I don't want to talk too much about this, so you can look at it yourself. I just want to mention, I'll mention the leaders for everything. You guys can look at everything else. But Shea is the current leader in MVP. Jalen Johnson's leading the most improved player. Nikola Jokic is leading the clutch player of the year. Victor Wembanyama is leading defensive player of the year. Zach Edey is leading rookie of the year. Peyton Pritchard is leading sixth man of the year. And of course, Kenny Atkinson there is leading the coach of the year. But that is going to be it for the video. I'm sorry it came out a couple days late. I'll get back on track next week. But yeah, thank you for watching, and make sure to check out my NFL videos as well.